All right, checking the mic. Check, check. Oh, we got a nice commercial here. We'll just assume that it's live here. Good evening, everybody. InsaneSparty here with Thursday Xbox, not even Xbox, Thursday America's F2 Racing. Tonight we'll have two races, both in Italy. First one will take place at Imola, and the second one will be at Monza. So everybody loads in here real quick. Just a reminder, we do have... All right, audio is working. Fantastic. We do have a one-shot qualification, followed by a 25% F2 race, followed by a 50% race. First race will be 9 laps. As I mentioned, one-shot qualification, fixed setups for everybody here, so there should be no time wasted taking a setup since you do not have that option. While we're waiting here, and also, fun fact, no formation lap on the first race, which makes the second race a wild card depending on how the lobby is set up. And here we go. We'll follow this week. We will follow Nico around the track here. So as we're following Nico, this course is 19 turns long. It is located, as I said, in Italy, in the town of Imola, which is kind of where it gets its name. Technically, it is the Autodromo Internazionale Enzo Dino Ferrari course. Again, as I said, better known as Imola. Couple facts for any of you history buffs. Should well know that there was a very tragic race in 1994 when this was called the San Marino Grand Prix. They actually had 3 incidents, 2 of them fatal. During practice, Rubens Barrichello was injured when his car flew off the track into a barrier. The next day in qualifying, Roland Ratzenberger crashed head-on into the wall at the Villeneuve corner and died. And then, as everybody well knows, the next day during the race, lap 7, Ayrton Senna crashed and also died. So lots of tragedy at this course. Obviously, in the virtual world, we should not have any of those issues. And as we were wrapping up there, and I was busy looking at the stream, making sure everything was up and running, looks like a bevy of people were disqualified. So Sublime has come in 11th, and sporting that Sergeant Williams driver. So Verts, dominance, like always, who actually until 2 minutes ago was not even going to be in the race, takes pole, followed by Bachman, Captain Schmeg in 3rd, Beardis 4th, Vitamin D here in 5th, JBH in 6th, Robert Elder 7th, Squish 8th, Mr. Highside 9th, Style Harmony rounds out the top 10. Sublime 11, Jerk in 12th, Flavis 13th, Tom 14th, Sergeant Bill in 15th, Nico DQ'd in 16th, Rocket as well, and also Adler in 18th rounds out the grid. As I mentioned, no formation lap in this race coming up here, so we'll actually pay attention to these lights. And it will be a 9-lap sprint to the finish before we move on to another area of Italy. So sit back, grab your favorite beverage, and enjoy the potential chaos that America's F2 Thursday season can be. While we're waiting for this to load out, we do have Vert's domination, as I mentioned previously, sitting in the lead for the season at 170 points. Viridis and is in 2nd with 109. Little Mike 3rd with 100. Drag King 4th with 97. Blackman 5th with 88. Nico 6th with 75. JBH 7th 72. And here we go. Viridis will lead the field. towards the first chicane. Oh, and absolute chaos reigns supreme, as I mentioned. Little Mike is somewhere, somewhere in the back here. Lots of guys, lots of wings, lots of parts of cars all over the place. Well, I was hoping it wouldn't be chaos, but it seems to have led to a massive, massive incident right off the bat. We'll follow Jerk here for a little bit, sort of in the middle of the field. Vert's already 2 seconds out in front. Let's probably check this off the box for him yet again. He's going to be one of those guys that if he's up there, he's going to be gone. So better get a jump on him soon. We have Style following Jerk right behind, going up the hard right-hand chicane. If you miss that braking zone, you will fly off into the runoff area to the left of that turn. Tight little hairpin chicane here. Not hairpin, tight little chicane here at the top of the backstretch as they head down the hill to make a short right-hander with kind of a hard braking left-hander. You got that big gravel runoff area right here at the end. Turns 16, 17, 18. And Style get a little wiggly. Oh, that wasn't Style. That was... Yeah, that was Style. This whole thing is screwed up here. Let's head back up towards the front. Looks like Captain Schmeg going to try to be able to make a move here on Blockman pretty soon. No DRS is active yet. Next lap it will be. So coming up over the hill. A little tiny right-hander before a big left-hander. Followed by the downhill right-hander that we'll see here in just a sec. To the uphill right-hander. Kind of a technical section. You want to make sure that your car typically handles very well in these two areas, as you can lose a lot of time. Elder making a move on sub. High side just in front. Elder going for the move on the inside. Sub trying to follow right behind. Elder kind of gets pushed slightly over into the gravel. Want to make sure that you rejoin good and not spin in that location. So DRS will be active this next lap, where they're passing currently. That is a DRS zone, but not active just yet. Sub following Elder through the first chicane here. Everybody looks, or Viridis looks to have run off just slightly over into the gravel. Looks like JBH and Jerk and Little Mike. Everything's clean so far through there. Blockman trying to chase down Verts, who is well ahead of everybody. Squish all over the back of Sub. Again, they're approaching Sector 3. A couple more turns and they'll be on that DRS zone. Sub will have DRS currently. We'll see if he's able to maintain it. DRS activation zone is at the bottom of this hill, that left-hander coming up. So he should be close enough. He should have it, as well as Squish, as well as Viridis. So we're going to have a little bit of a DRS train here behind Robert Elder. It is a rather long DRS straight. We'll see if he's able to hold on. Half a second was the mark. I think Sub actually might be able to get it. Nope. So there we go. We'll try to remember that. Half a second is too far for these lovely F2 cars that drives like buses around the course. On the start, Is that Virtus running off? These camera views. It's a great job by EA with some of these camera views. Lane had a nice one on Tuesday that sent him between the rear tires and the wing for some reason. And there was a battle going on right in front. So we have the biggest winner off the start is Nico, who DQ'd off of that qualifying up 8 spots, followed by Sublime up 6 as Virtus is going for the move on Squish. Can't get it done, very tight through there, a little bit of contact on exit. This is going to be a big, we got Nico going to try to go around the long way. Gravel trap over on the right-hand side. Virtus maintains position. Both of these guys should have no problem getting by Squish. 0.3 seconds. That should be well within range. We'll see if they both can get it done. They're hot on his tail. Virtus goes right. Nico follows right. Almost went a little bit further to the right. As they come in, Nico takes that inside line away from Squish. Double overpass, or double pass by Virtus and Nico over Squish. Squish loses 2 spots. Style. He's dropped 1 spot so far on the race. Guys with the biggest loss, Vitamin D, who does have a penalty, as well as JBH, both down 9 positions from the start. And Rocket. Well, it looks like Rocket had some, he was probably one of the guys that had those issues in the beginning. Looks like he lost a wing and had to pit. It's going to be rough. It's going to be a long 5 more laps for him around this course. Tom has run off the course. Don't know if that was a bump. Don't know if he just got wide on that uphill right-hander. Either way, he's plummeted down to 16th. See if we can find Nico more than a half a second behind Virtus here. I don't believe he'll be able to get it done based on what we saw from sub that very first time the DRS zone was open. You can see gained about 2.5 tenths, and that's about it. Style getting passed by Sargent. Bert's long gone. Man on a mission, 3.5 seconds plus over Blackman. Sublime up 6 spots, chasing down Robert Elder. Has some work to do if he wants to get on the podium tonight in this race. Style chasing down Sargent. And we'll follow him through this right-hander up the hill. Stays away from the sausage curve. Sargent gets a little wobbly on that exit as they head into the very tight chicane. Not a lot of room. Wisely. Good move by Style. Gets that pass done. Sargent, being a veteran driver, used his head when he was rejoining the track when he ran off just a little bit. And he should have DRS here on Style. 3 tenths. See if he can pick up that draft. Goes the inside. Style. Looked to make a move. Backed out appropriately. Orderly. Through the corners. And that curb right there, if you cut that curb just a little bit, that'll accelerate your cars, at least in the F1 series, which we all know and love. Adler. Oh, Sargent, you saw him get a little loose there. Stacked up Style. This is not a solid move here. Not an exactly great spot to make a move or a pass side by side through a fast-paced left-handed corner. Tried to do it, ended up losing some time. Flavis chasing down Tom. Let's take a look at penalties. Schmeg, as we say that, picks up 2. So we got a couple of guys here, 2 second-time penalties. So potentially, if it was like this, Robert Elder would drop down to maybe 7th spot. No, not 7th spot, because the other 2 guys have penalties, so he did drop down to 5th spot at the moment. Sub and Robert Elder having a go. Nico's may come back into the fold here. I didn't think Sub was that close. Obviously must have missed something. And then we're missing Vitamin D down with Robert with Adler. Who I'm always going to say your name wrong, so I guess I'll just have to deal with that one. Style still on the back of Sargent. We're coming down to 1 to go when we hit the line. Bertz, long gone. Blockman in 2nd. Schmeg 3rd. Within a second of Blockman. Stays there. He should have that DRS zone coming up. Sub on the back of Robert. So Schmeg's going to be way too far back here, as we've seen time and again. Probably only going to pick up 2.5, 3 tenths at the most. Had to put him within 4 tenths by the time we get to turn 1. Sub, on the other hand, we'll see if he sends it here, coming to the last lap. Nico lost a bit of time. Good by Sub. Nico just got passed by Viridis before that. Turn 1. Style going around the outside of Sargent. Side by side. 2 veteran drivers giving each other a little bit of battle, keeping it clean. So now Sub charges up the hill. As we see some yellow flags back there, it looks like Adler had a little bit of an issue. Sub's going to need to do a dive bomb here at the end as they approach those final 2 corners, 16, 17, 18. Getting it done around here on the outside, it's going to be the long way. He's got to get a good entry and exit here. So we got Verts coming off the final corner. He's going to be able to take it no problem. Got Viridis trying to pass Sub on the outside here. Sub hanging strong as these guys come across the line. No DRS zone this far back. Schmeg's in 3rd. Robert Elder crosses the line 4th. Sub takes that on penalties. Robert Elder down in 5th. Squish 6th. Viridis 7th. Nico 8th. Sargent 9th. Style 10th. Mr. Highsides finishing there. And let's go give Rocket some love here on this last lap. So again, fast-paced action. 9 laps that we had here in Imola. Just following Rocket here through the last few corners, entering Sector 3. And for the final time, down the hill, around, towards finish. So no DNFs this race. Great job by everybody. Did see that big incident that seemed to have collected some wings and bits and pieces that I'm sure may result in a report or 2. Sublime, quote-unquote, driver of the day. As Verts maintains his domination. So we have Verts finishing yet again in first place. I believe this is what, week 4, so that means we've had 6. This is 7. He has at least 4, if not 5 wins on the season. Blockman finishes in second, Captain Schmeg in third, Sub in fourth, with help from those penalties. Robert Elder in fifth, Squish sixth, Beard is seventh, Nico in eighth, Sergeant Bill in ninth, Style Harmony in 10th, Mr. Highside 11th, JBH 12th, in 13th, Vitamin D, 14th, Tom, 15th, Flavius, 16th, Jerk, 17th, Adler, 18th is Rocket. And these top 10 drivers will invert for race number 2 at Monza. So yet again, Verts will be coming from the 10th position. We'll see how long it takes him to get up through the field. With Imola, we have that long straight down to the very incredibly slow and tight turns 1 and turn 2 chicane. This one, it looked like we had some issues on a much wider track. So we will see what happens on the close quarters Monza turn 1 chicane when we return. So there will be a slight intermission, probably a couple minutes long. Sub needs to reconfigure the lineup. Everybody use the facilities, get your favorite drink refilled, take a nap, etc., etc. So we will be back here probably, hopefully, within the next 5 minutes or so. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back, everybody. InsaneSparty here for our second round of F2 Americas. Tonight, we are headed to Monza. 50% race, 15 laps. There will be a formation lap unless Sublime screwed up the lobby. Yet again, wouldn't be the first time, so we aren't really surprised by anything here. As we hit the countdown, the drivers have been given a 3 to 4 minutes on the grid. Don't hit the button to put it into the race. So everybody can set strategies, not for setups, as those are fixed setups for everybody, but more so to pick the one tire or the other. So if it takes you that long to pick your tire, you probably should play another game. Well, Sub says there is a formation lap yet again. I will believe it when I see it. So for our last race, Verts, yet again, domination. He will start in 10th position for this race. Not the first time that he'll have to come from that deep in the field, as he has done it more than half the times we have raced so far, and we are only 4 weeks into the F2 Americas series. So as we sit here and wait in silence, because I hate filling the void of silence, I am no Lane Everham. I can only wish to be as good as that gentleman is. So I suppose, since there will be no qualifying, and we are waiting for players to not hit the ready up button, we will be here in Monza. The Autodromo Nazionale di Monza, a 3.6 mile, approximately 5.793 kilometer track. Historically high speeds at this race course. We do have 11 turns in the course. This should be a formation lap. This is a formation lap. Fantastic job. We see everybody leaving the grid in a super orderly and slow fashion. As I was mentioning before, we do have 11 corners in this race course. The first one that you'll see here, it's actually the first two, the chicane. I can't even say this. Variante di retroiofil. That's so the first two very slow, as we had seen. Hopefully no Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen's cars sitting on top of each other. Corner 3 here, Curva Grande, followed by slow turns 4 and 5, which in previous versions of the game you couldn't see it, but if you cut the 5th corner just enough, your car would fly into the air. It's a fantastic feeling during league races because, again, you could not see that. The Curve de Lesimo, 6 and 7, followed by DRS zone here on the backstretch. Turns 8, 9, and 10 that the field will be approaching. You can kind of see past the underpass there. Ascari. In the F1 cars, it's very important to maintain that speed, as my Xbox decides to fade out here. Through these two corners, a good setup gives you great exit speed onto the corner, onto the straightaway here for Parabolica, which will be the final corner of the course. So Style Harmony will lead the way, inverted top 10, as I had mentioned previously, followed by Sergeant, Nico, Virtus, Squish, Robert Elder, Sublime, Captain Schmeg, Blackman, and Verts in 10th place, Mr. Highside in 11th, JBH 12th, Vitamin D 13th, Tom 14th, Flavis 15th, Jerk is in 16th, Adler 17th, and Rocket will be starting shotgun on the field. So we will see. Here's kind of our, about half the field, half and half for mediums and soft tires. Waiting for the field to reset. Here we go. I hear the lights. I don't see the lights. And they're off. Barreling down towards turn 1. Oh my. Well, let's see what we get here, folks. And there's already a crash. It looks like Elder is off and out, perhaps. Yep. Well, we called it at the onset. Something, a couple guys running off track, going through the little barriers. Robert Elder, squish. Something happened between those two. We were in the middle of going 5 wide, which is absolute bananas. Schmeg making passes under the safety car, or excuse me, under the yellow flag, picking up penalties. My oh my, Sublime up into 3rd, Style down now into 5th place, falling like a rock. As we see, who the hell was that? Sargent? Sargent just did a nosedive into the barrier. Must have lost traction off that corner. Probably lost his wing as well. I don't even see his car anymore. Well, that was quite an eventful lap 1. As we saw earlier, Verts, who started 10th place, is all the way up to 3rd, up 7 spots. Sublime up 5 spots right in front of him, and Viridis is in the lead. Schmeg, Style, Blockman, Nico, everybody under a blanket. Gonna have some good DRS trains here going at this track. We will see what chaos awaits us here as we head to the first turn of lap 2. Well, that went better than the previous lap. Good job, fellas. Got all that angst out of the way. Robert Elder still on track. Looks like Flavius has... Oh, sorry, that's Robert Elder, has lost his left wing plate, I do believe. Still making a pass on Flavius. It's pretty impressive. Like, why would I want this view? This view is terrible. Cycle up through the field a little bit. Take a look at everybody's car. We do have wings on everybody back here, which is great. Let's go find Sargent. Oh, Sargent does still have the swing. That's good news. Doesn't look like he nosedived into that barrier and should have lost something, but apparently not. You can hit the wall at 5 miles an hour and break your tire off, or you can hit it at 100 and be okay. You never know. And we have a 3 wide situation going in here. JBH was the meat in the sandwich. We can call that a jelly bologna ham sandwich. How about? Came up on the short end of the stick there. Sounds like a gross sandwich. Nobody should ever have one of those anyways. Elder chasing down Squish, seeing if we can get it done on the outside. He does try. No contact. Good job, fellas. Field's spreading out just a tiny bit here. We do have 15 laps in this race. I don't want this view. This is awful view. Thank you. Verts. Yeah. Do we give him some screen time? Chasing down Beard as 2nd place. DRS should be active, which means we should see it click on here. If I had a different view, I would know. Well, the answer was yes. Looks like we have Squish. Squish is off. Has destroyed one of those signs. Please do not tell Take Her Easy. He will report you. Missing a right end plate on that wing. Gonna make driving through Ascari quite difficult. JVH all over the back of Rocket. It's almost like we're doing a NASCAR bump draft here at Daytona, which did run this past week. As they head through the corner, Parabolica goes way wide, extends that track, does relinquish the position and comes back in behind Rocket as well as Jerkwad. As everybody has DRS wing open, heading towards turn 1. Heavy braking zone. We see made it through clean. Style, a little bit of a rough stretch here. Down into 9th position, 8 spots from that lead where he started. Schmeg, Sub, and Verts all should have DRS here coming as we see Virtus get a little wobbly there. Looks like Flavis. Squish has made a pit stop. Flavis, I think, got a little squirrely there off the corner. Verts coming through Ascari is going to have good heading into Parabolica. He's going to hit that DRS zone on the front